All right, so I've officially posted 8 videos on YouTube, 6 long videos and 2 short videos. And honestly, I understand now why so many people quit early, because this feels way more uncomfortable than people realize. Not just the filming part, the talking, the editing, watching yourself back, trying to come up with titles and thumbnails, wondering if anyone's even gonna watch, and then hitting post anyways. But for some reason, I keep coming back to it. So I decided I'm going to challenge myself to post videos every day for the next 30 days. And I want to see what happens. Not just with subscribers or views or likes, but with me. One of the biggest reasons I'm doing this is because I want to become better at thinking clearly and speaking confidently without reading from a script. That's honestly one of my biggest goals right now. I think a lot of us reach a point where we realize we've spent years holding thoughts in our heads, but not always expressing them confidently out loud. And when you first start recording videos, you notice it immediately. You start talking, then lose your train of thought, then restart, then overthink what you said, then sound robotic, which is kind of what I am right now, but I'm working on it, because you're trying too hard to sound right. At least that's what I've noticed. And I can tell already when I'm relying too heavily on a script. It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't fully sound like me. So part of this challenge is learning how to trust my own thoughts more. To slow down, think clearly, and speak naturally without feeling like every sentence has to be perfect. And honestly, another thing I want to work on is becoming more expressive on camera, because when I watch myself back, sometimes I look really serious or flat. And in my head, I feel engaged, but on camera, it doesn't always come across that way. I want to learn how to smile more naturally when I talk, use more natural gestures, relax a little, show more personality instead of looking like I'm giving a presentation at work. Because I think years of being professional and responsible kind of trains you to keep everything controlled, be composed, be careful, be measured. But YouTube, and honestly, communication in general, is different. People connect with warmth, expression, energy, personality, and not perfection. And I'm realizing that being expressive on camera doesn't mean becoming fake or overly animated. I don't want to become some loud influencer personality. I just want to become more comfortable being myself without shutting everything down. I want my face to actually match what I'm feeling. I want to stop monitoring every word and every movement. And maybe confidence only comes from repetition. Maybe after 30 days of talking to a camera, I'll loosen up a bit. I also think this stage of life is interesting for a lot of GenX people who grew up in a completely different world. We didn't grow up filming ourselves. We didn't grow up building personal brands. We didn't grow up constantly sharing our thoughts online. Most of us were taught work hard, keep your head down, and be responsible. Don't draw attention to yourself. So this whole thing feels strange sometimes. But I also think a lot of people our age have something valuable to say. Life experience, perspective, humor, lessons learned, burnout, stress, change, and reinvention. And maybe we've spent too long thinking nobody wants to hear it. So this 30-day challenge is partly about consistency, but it's also about getting out of my own head. I want to become someone who can sit down, turn on a camera, and simply talk naturally. Not perfectly, not polished, not rehearsed, just honestly. And I'm genuinely curious what happens if I stay consistent for 30 days. because right now I'm still tiny on YouTube. A few subscribers, a few views. My shorts are getting more attention than my long videos, which apparently is normal. But I think most people quit before momentum has a chance to happen. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to look back a year from now wondering what would have happened if I just kept showing up. So over the next 30 days, I'm just going to document the process honestly. The awkwardness, the learning curve, the overthinking, the small wins, the bad videos, the better videos, and maybe somewhere in the middle of all of this, I'll actually become more confident, not just on camera, but in life too. I think there's something powerful about proving to yourself that you can keep showing up even when results are small. Because most growth at the beginning is invisible. Nobody sees the confidence building, the courage it takes, the internal changes, the consistency. People usually only notice later when things finally start working, but the real growth happens before that. And honestly, maybe this challenge has nothing to do with YouTube in the end. Maybe it's about finally doing something instead of overthinking it forever. Maybe it's about becoming more comfortable in my own skin. Maybe it's about learning how to express myself more freely at this stage of life. Maybe it's about proving to myself that I can still grow, change, improve, and try new things. So that's where I'm at right now. 8 videos in, still awkward, still learning, and still overthinking sometimes, but still showing up. And now I'm committing to 30 straight days. We'll see what happens with subscribers. We'll see what happens with views and likes. We'll see what happens if I stop hiding behind perfection and just keep going. If any of this resonates with you, if you're also trying to reinvent yourself a little or push yourself outside your comfort zone, or finally start something you've been putting off, then maybe follow along for the next 30 days. All right. Okay, this is day 1.